There was a time in my life that I was absolutely ready to end it. I was about 30 years old and I had two kids and a wife. I had a moment that I could never hold a positive thought, or everything I thought was negative. I often felt that life was going to end, my children would suffer. You know, that real negative shit that just keeps compounding you day after day. And I'm young, I'm 30 and I've got no mentors. I've got no one I can lean into to go, hey man, I feel like I feel suicidal every day. I used to play this thing called Pick a Tree when I was driving home from work.
Oh, wow.
I used to say to myself, I got to end this because I could not hold any thought that was of benefit. It was just negativity all day, 24/7. It was terrible. And I remember washing the dishes one day and getting to a point, and I don't mean to be too graphic, but this is real life shit, right?
It
I
is.
grabbed a knife and I was about to stab myself in the eyeball with it, just to end it.
Oh.
I don't know why I'd stab myself in the eyeball. I'm sure there's easier ways, right? But it was like you're in that moment of desperation, and I'm
Mhm.
doing the dishes, and I just couldn't do it anymore. And this is what I did. Instead of doing that, I chose to do this thing, and I did this. I cried out internally. I just said, I can't do this anymore, and I don't know what to do. That's clearly, I knew not what to do. I didn't have anyone to turn to. I didn't want my wife to know I was suffering like this. I didn't want my children. I had a good mask on. I kept, like many I've met already now that suffer depression, they're very good at pretending.
Mhm.
I was really good at it. I've been doing it for a few years, this pretending of being okay, but I was absolutely fucked. I was finished. And to the point of I was about to end. So I cried out and said, I need help. I don't even know I'm asking, right? I'm just thinking there's something. And I go, I need help. I can't do this anymore. And this is what came to me like this. Now, if you're listening to this and it doesn't come to you like this, so what? This is your journey. This was mine. Yours could come already before you ask, or it may come in a different way. Don't quit. That's all I'm telling you. If you're asking for it, sit in there and wait for that energy to come. The God of all creation will not let you down. I know that. I know it. You just have to be prepared to hear it. And so I heard this in me said, this is funny, this, because it says, it instantly came to me like as a resolution. It said, for every negative thought you have, replace it with three positive ones.
Oh.
Well, okay, that was something, right? But that's like a lot of bloody hard work, isn't it, eh? Like, that's not just going, oh, I feel changed. No, now the job was on. And I can tell you for 3 solid years, every moment, and it's why I have the expression now, every breath and every step I take is a prayer. I'm in every moment of consciousness, knowing that every moment I move has a profound roll on effect to me and to those around me. So I've learned that because I stuck it out. And here's the thing, I had I had the best energy to stick it out with. I had God's inspiration. Anyway, this comes to me. Now let me jump at 3 years. After 3 years, I start getting moments where I feel, oh, it's not so bad. 3 solid years. If you're out there and you're screaming in your pillow every night, keep screaming until it arrives. It will come. You just don't quit. You don't quit. That's not an option. Just stay with it. And here's the point. After that period of time, I started to grow and I grew and still growing. Um, it's not easy, man. It's a tough gig sometimes, but you've got to listen. Now, here, let me go 20 years forward now, and I'm listening to something about something, and it was a Buddhist monk was talking about enlightenment and stuff. I knew no Buddhism. I'm not in. I've been to Buddha's birthplace and stuff, but man, I don't do temples and stuff. I'm not into places. I'm into people.
Mm.
I
I
was
love
at a
that.
I was in a festival where there's 1 million people in a festival, in a Hindu festival, and a reporter pulls me up and wants to interview me because I look white and I look like a guru. And she says to me, "What do you like the most about our place here?" I said, "It's the people." "Oh, but what do you think of the temples?" I said, "I like the people that are in the temples." I'm not here for your temples. I'm here for your people. I'm here to save those that need saving. That's what I'm here for. Not biblically save. I want you to save yourself, whatever it is you think that you can't. Anyway, 20 years later, I'm listening to a Buddhist priest, and this Buddhist priest says, in the Buddhist tradition, in the Buddhist belief system, we have one thing that is very, very useful to people. And he says this: for every negative thing that comes into your mind, replace it with three positives. And I went, piss off. I heard that from the same place Buddha heard it from 2,500 years ago. This was Buddha's enlightenment under a boab tree, where God said to him, for every negative thought, replace it with three positive things. And I went, see, you don't even have to be a Buddhist to get in touch with God. You just have to go in. You just have to ask this. You just step into God's energy. It surrounds us. I call it God's Wi-Fi. Unlike our Wi-Fi, it gets a lot of interference. God's Wi-Fi is clear as a bell all the time. If there's interference, it's because you're getting in your way.
Damn. I mean, I didn't even want to speak when I was listening to that, because that is just so amazing. And as soon as you started saying what the Buddhist person was saying, I was like shaking my head, like I know where this is going. That was unreal.
I never heard it before. And then 20 years later, after I'm pretty much on a track of enlightenment, and I'm seeking the divine, and I still have my days like everyone. But when I heard that, I went, come on, man. That's like, you don't have to have a belief system. You do not need a religion. I promise you, I'm not pissing on them. If you enjoy your belief system, embrace it because of the people that are in it. Remember, I said it's not the people it's not the temple, it's those that are in it.
Yep.
I'm only here for the people. I'm not here for the surroundings. I like to see nature. I like to see the bush. I like living in the jungle. But I got to tell you, I'm only here for the vessels that God dwells within, and I want to flick their switch. I want to put their Wi-Fi back on and go get reconnected, man.
God, I just love that. And I really think, as we were talking earlier, this message is going to resonate with many, many people, both on I think those that have faith or have a religion and go, yeah, like it's same spokes of the same wheel. I'm
Sure.
in that. And other people who go, oh, I like that message means I don't have to join a official
Mm.
religion or something with structure. It's all just that idea of
Mm.
asking and listening and being aware and getting in
Mm.
that connection with that voice that can speak to you. And I think far too often the interference is the noise and the everyone pushing and pulling you into what they
Yes.
think you should believe, as opposed to just getting out there and being quiet. I mean, that's something I struggle with. I mean, I think it's natural that the world that we live in is the result of a lot of other people and a lot of noise, and just getting out
A lot
there
of
and
ego, right? There's
in
a
a lot
lot
of
of,
ego.
mate, we train our kids to compete.
Right.
Why? We should train them to have compassion. Competing can be fun. I love being in a survivor challenge, but I'm not competing against him or her or the other team. I'm seeing how well I can do it. That's it. I'm competing with me, as in the energy of like, wow, what can I do? They want me to climb over this bloody 4 meter tower. I'm 50 something years old. I think, will I be able to? Hey, hell, I did it. I'm not competing with you. I can't compete with you. You're a different version of who I am. You're your vessel. If I want to anytime you're in a competition, it's only with yourself.
Yep.
You think someone else beats you? He beat me. What? How can he beat me? You can't beat me. Your version does that job better than me. No, I did it my way. Like old Frank Sinatra said, I did it my way, man. This competition stuff, it creates a lot of negative energy, man. It's something that people may not like to hear this, but competing, and I'm not saying you can't have fun, but when your ego gets in the way of competing, you've already lost.
Yeah. Yep.
You've already lost, man. You just become an asshole who's good at running. Like,
And you're just chasing things that, I mean, you even look at sports, people that compete, people that achieve all of a sudden, yes, but can they do it again? What do they do now? It's like
You're only as
it's
good as your last game, right? That's what
right,
they say.
right.
Only as
It's
good as your last game.
yeah, I talked to somebody not on an interview, but just somebody who did Everest, and it was like, what was it like? You know, you trained and you did all these things and then you were finally on Everest. What was it like afterwards? And it was like
Yeah.
it was the emptiest feeling that I had ever felt, because it was, you maybe thought it was about the journey, but once it was over, it's like, well, now what?
Yeah. We're watching a show at the moment. I love it. A friend of mine, Matt Rogers, who he's on it. He's a legend, mate. And I love,
Yes.
oh, mate, I could tell you some great stories with Matty. But I'm watching him on this show we got in Australia. It's called, I think it's a Summit. It's called The Summit, right? And they've got to get within 14 days to the top of this mountain, this 8,000 feet above sea level thing. And I'm watching it. I'm like, mate, I'm loving it. But they film at the same time of the year I do Kiosk Kev. So there's no chance of me auditioning for it because, you know, of the timelines. But I would absolutely love it. And we watched the first season last night, you know, and sorry, but so it's in second season. Maddie's in the second season. The first season, it's on like pay TV stuff. So we're watching it because we like it so much.
Yeah.
I said to Natalie when the final three get to the top of the summit, because it's all about how much cash they can drag up the hill, right?
Okay. Yep.
I tell you, let me say this. I know for a fact, long after that money's gone, the experience will not have left them. If you're
Absolutely.
doing if you're doing something like that and your focus is just the cash and that's your paramount thing, you're wasting your time, man. It's the journey that's the experience. It's the journey that brings the gratification. Like win or lose is irrelevant. I lost Survivor twice, but I gained a bloody lifetime of memories and conditionings and things that will serve me way more than the 500K would have if I ever.